उला घड़ियां जान वाला केड़ा खुश नसीब है उन जिम्मे का सवाब ते मिलता ही है उन एक ऊंट की कुर्बानी का सवाब मिलता है। दादा करो कि अल्लाह ने इस जुम्मा शरीफ की सवाब मिलता है। फिर थोड़ा ना लेटा हो किसी पहले 12 मरतबा सुने होना है उलमा को। मेरा अर्थ करने का मकसद ये है कि अल्लाह तेरा उनका फरमान है ज़बान मेरी है बयान इसको खुदा करता है वमा यंतिकु अनिल हवा इन हुवा इल्ला वहयु यूहा वो यूहा वाली ज़ुबान में जो निकले है उला घड़ियां जुम्मा शरीफ जान वाले बंदे को अल्लाह जिन्हें का सवाब अता करता है उनकी कुर्बानी अदा में अता करता है। ये अल्लाह ने इस जुम्मे के बारे में फरमाया अल जुम्मा को सैयदुल अय्याम एक जुम्मा सारे दिनों का सरदार दिन है। अल जुम्मा तो हज्जुल फुकरा हुजूर की हदीस से पाक है ये जुम्मा गरीबा के हज का दिन है। इस जुम्मे को अल्लाह ने बड़ी फजीलत अता की है। इमाम अल-अंबिया के गुलामों हज़रत सैयदना आदम अलैहिस्सलाम की तौबा कबूल हुई तो जुम्मा शरीफ का दिन सैयदना आदम अलैहिस्सलाम अगर जन्नत से और क़यामत का दिन भी होएगा तो तफसील के अंदर होता है कि वो तो जुम्मा शरीफ का दिन अल्लाह ने पाक नबी के इस जुम्मे के बारे में बड़ी फजीलत फरमाई है। इमाम अल-अंबिया के गुलामों बस जिस नबी ने उम्मती है सानू हुजूर की एक अदा पे एक हुक्म पे कोशिश करनी चाहिए। सानू अल्लाह अमल दी तौफीक अता फरमाए। अल्लाह तशरीफ लाए इंशाअल्लाह ताला अपनी गुफ्तगू का आगाज़ जुम्मा शरीफ पे इंशाअल्लाह बड़ा मुसद मतलब बयान फरमाते हैं। मैं चंद करीम हाजिर को भाई अल्लाह ने कबूल फरमाए। नारे तकबीर
अल्लाहु अकबर या रसूल अल्लाह
नारे हैदरी
या अली
नारे गौसिया
या गौसल आज़म।
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنك على خلق عظيم وفي مقام آخر بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا إن أولياء الله لا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون وفي مقام آخر بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا ومولانا محمد وسلم. Everybody recite together.
अस्सलामु अलैका या सय्यदी या रसूल अल्लाह अला आलिका व अस्हाबिका या सय्यदी या हबीब अल्लाह।
In these days throughout the Islamic calendar, one of our rituals and something that we do with consistency is we mark the days of the great awliya Allah of this ummah. हमारा अहले सुन्नत वल जमात का एक मामूल होता है सालों साल, इन दिनों में भी सफ़र में भी औलिया किराम का कि वफ़ात के अय्याम चल रहे हैं, बाकी महीनों में ऐसा होता है। और हमारा मामूल होता है सुन्नत में कि जब औलिया किराम जिन दिन उनका वफ़ात होता है उस शरीफ को हम मनाते हैं, उनको याद करते हैं, उनके बारे में बयान करते हैं, इसाले सवाब करते हैं। और मकसद उसमें ये होता है, एक तो उनके फ़ज़ाइल और करामात बयान करना, उनकी बुलंदी दर्जात के लिए दुआ करना, और दूसरा कि उनकी जो तालीमाती ज़िंदगी है उससे हम भी कुछ सीखें, तो अपनी ज़िंदगी के अंदर भी वो चीज़ें हम अपनाएं और ले आएं। So when we remember the great awliya, the point is to mention their great qualities. Some of them Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have blessed with miracles as well. And we mentioned those great blessings and bounties that Allah gave to His beloved friends. Awliya meaning the friends of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There's many meanings of the wali, but let's just say the friends of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And also what we do is we want to implement their teachings in our own life, and to learn from their lives. What did they actually teach? How did they get the status amongst the Muslims and that acceptance where we call them awliya of Allah, or this person is a wali of Allah, or this person is from the salihin, he's from the righteous, he's from the pious. And it's important to do that, so when we talk about them, we remind ourselves about how we should become and who we should be looking up to. And then people today are in search, often looking around thinking, oh, who are the awliya Allah today? Who is a friend of Allah today? ये आपने बहुत मतलब सुना होगा कि आजकल औलिया नहीं होते, अल्लाह के वली फिर आज के दिन है। और बाज़ वो भी लोग होते हैं जो दूसरी तरफ होते हैं और हर किसी को वलीउल्लाह और औलिया अल्लाह मानते हैं। So we have kind of an extreme where people are either very skeptical or don't believe in the existence of righteous, pious people, or the awliya ikram, the awliya ikram is the righteous. They don't even meet the basic criteria of what is a waliullah. And our scholars have mentioned that in detail. हमारे उलमाए किराम ने और पीराने अज़ाम और मशाइख़ अज़ाम और औलिया किराम ने इस चीज़ को बाकायदा लिखा है कि पीर होने की भी शर्तें होती हैं. There are sharai, conditions for somebody to be a sheikh and a pir, a tariqa. And the first, most basic one, सबसे जिसके अंदर असासी बात है और बुनियादी बात यह है कि जो खुद हिदायत याफ्ता नहीं है वो दूसरों को हिदायत कैसे देगा? If somebody is not guiding themselves, how are they going to guide us? Because that's what a murshid means. It's from the word rushd, to guide. Rushd means to guide. Irshad means to give guidance. Irshad, to give guidance, nasiha. And that's what the primary duty of a shaykh is, to give nasiha to his students, to his murids, to his followers, to those that are around him. And if he's not guided, he can't guide others. And he needs to have the knowledge, essential knowledge of Aqidah, knowing what is kufr and what is Islam, what by saying what or by doing what makes one a kafir, what makes one a believer, what are the essential beliefs of the Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'at. He needs to know this. And they need to be practicing the Sharia. If they're not practicing the Sharia, they are not guided. They are not what we call the Hidayat Yafta. If they are not practicing the Sharia, that's the first sign that they are not guided. And then how are they going to guide you if they're not following the Sharia themselves? And second thing is that they must know the Sharia to practice on it and have enough knowledge of the Sharia, even if they are not a great alim. They can still be a guide, but they must know enough of the Sharia to take care and answer the basic Shari'i day-to-day questions of their followers. If a shaykh cannot answer the basic Shari'i masail, day-to-day masail, to do with salat, saum, fasting, prayer, wudu, hajj, and others, and at least then if you cannot answer, have the ability to go to a book and check the masala. बाज़ मसले शायद उनको अज़बर ना हो, ज़हन में ना हो, यानी ये ज़रूरी नहीं कि बहुत बड़ा आलिम हो, लेकिन मसाइल शरिया इतने मसाइल शरिया से वाकिफ़ हो कि जब उनके मुरीद उनसे सवाल पूछे वो जवाब दे सके रोज़मर्रा के जो मसाइल हैं। और अगर जवाब ना आता हो, हकीक मसला है, कोई आम सा मसला नहीं है, आम मसले को जानना ज़रूरी है। ज़रूरियात दीन, फ़राइज़ दीन, ये सब चीज़ें ज़रूरी होती है, लेकिन अगर कोई दकीक मसला है, उसके अंदर ज़्यादा कोई तफसीलात हैं, ये इस्तिताअत होगी किताब से वो देखकर बता सके। उर्दू की किताब भी बेशक हो जाए, बहारी शरीफ वगैरह हो जाए, तो वो मसला बता सके। अगर मसला ना आता हो किसी से रुजू कर ले। सो आजकल तो ये चीज़ अभी नहीं ज़्यादा मिल रही। There are many people that are not Rashid or Murshid. What are they? In fact, they are Jahil and ignorant. So you cannot take allegiance, the oath of allegiance and bay'ah with a sheikh or a scholar, a so-called sheikh or a scholar who is a Jahil. Jahil of the Sharia and Jahil of Aqidah and Jahil of the Quran and the Sunnah in general. Now, these are essential requirements of the mashayikh, of what you do, is what you should consider when you are taking somebody as a leader, as a guide, somebody whose company you are going to say, किसी की सोहबत इख्तियार करनी है, उसकी मजलिस में बैठना है, तो ये चीजें देखनी है कि अकीदा के, does he know अकीदा? Does he know the umum general of the Quran and the Sunnah, what the Prophet ﷺ was like? Does he know the Sharia, and does he know enough of the essential day-to-day masail of the Sharia, and can he answer the questions of his followers and murids? If there is a detailed issue that does not come up on a day-to-day basis, he should have the ability to check the source, even something like Bahari Sharia. He doesn't have to be a scholar, but he should be able to check the source and give the answer if he doesn't know, or do a rujoo to another scholar. And that's the problem today. These people are not guided, they are not murshid or rashid, but they are jahil, and in some cases fasid. And you should not do bay'ah and sit in their majalis. The third thing I should mention, I said the waqif of aqidah, of sharia, and the third thing which we don't look at is the person's own akhlaq. Something we are missing. His own akhlaq. They should not be corrupt and greedy for money. This is something that is cursed. Many of our societies and religious groups, that many of the people are just interested in worldly things and money, whereas the job and the role of the shaykh is to take you away from materialism and money and towards spirituality and the deen. मुर्शिद का काम यह होता है कि आपको दुनिया से की तवज्जो से हटा दे और दीन और रूहानियत की तरफ आपको लौटा दे। लेकिन हमारे यहाँ उल्ट हो रहा है, पीर खुद पैसे के पीछे पड़ा हुआ है, मुरीदों की जेबों पर उसकी नजर होती है, अल्लाह की तरफ नजर नहीं है। This is not a murshid. He was after money, wealth and fame. अगर शोहरत के पीछे भागता है, वो तीन चीजें कहते हैं, शोहरत, औरत और दौलत। ये तीन चीजें अगर उसके पीछे पड़ा हुआ है तो फिर वो मुर्शिद और शेख नहीं है। और this is a big tragedy in our age. They are after these things. शोहरत, औरत, दौलत. The murshid should be one who takes you away from these things, because these are things to do with the shahwa and the ego. And what should the shaykh do? Make you suppress your nafs and your shahwa and your ego. The big challenges of our life. Chasing money, women, and popularity and fame. So how can we check them? The easiest way to check if somebody is a guided sheikh is to simply see, is he following the way of the Prophet? असल मुर्शिद और शेख वो होता है जो हुजूर की सुन्नत की इत्तिबा कर रहा है और आपको हुजूर की सुन्नत को याद दिला दे कि जो हमने हुजूर अलैहिस्सलातु वस्सलाम के बारे में सुना है ये उसका नमूना है। बस इतनी सी बात है। और याद है हमारे उलमा कहते हैं, जब आप कहते हैं ना वो करामत अल इस्तिकामा फौकल करामा, दीन पर इस्तिकामत ये करामत से बड़ी चीज है। Don't look for miracles, look for istiqama. And look if the person is following the example and the akhlaq of the Prophet ﷺ. And I'm going to give you two examples because we don't have much time. Nowadays, when you see a lot of the peers and the mashayikh and the scholars, they don't have time for the normal individual. किसी के पास आप जाएंगे, किसी पीर के पास वो तो बादशाहों का दरबार होता है, आपको वक्त भी नहीं मिलेगा, और वक्त नहीं मिलेगा शायद 2 घंटे इंतजार करेंगे, वो भी शायद अकेले में नहीं, मजमा होगा, एक सेकंड के लिए पीर साहब आएंगे, चले जाएंगे अंदर, और कहेंगे बस आपका काम हो गया। This is against the sunnah as well. Remember when the Prophet ﷺ जब किसी शख्स से मिलते, when he would meet somebody, ये हुजूर की सुन्नत में आता है, अखलाक़ करीमा में आता है, और आपके शमाइल हुस्ना में आता है। Shamail is the characteristics and the adab of the Prophet ﷺ. When he would meet somebody, he wouldn't, not only would he turn his face towards them, आजकल मूवियों की तरफ नहीं करते, बड़ा बंदा होता है तो, बल्कि पूरा जिस्म उसकी तरफ वो तवज्जो करते। He would turn his whole body towards that person. पूरा जिस्म कर दे उसने, and he would turn to the person and talk to them. सिर्फ सर नहीं, पूरा जिस्म, and he would give them his full attention when he would speak to them. Full attention. Even when he would see, and when he would see the vulnerable and the orphans, he would give them special attention. And I'm going to give you one story here about the Prophet ﷺ. One of them regards the daughter and the son of Hatim al-Ta'i. And you might know of this great, well-known individual who was from the Banu Taym, that's what they call him, Ta'i. And this is the Shamar region of आजकल का जो सऊदी अरब का शम्बर इलाका उसका है, और वो के बारे में मशहूर था उनकी जो उनका करम है, फातिमा ताई का सुना होगा। हुज़ूर सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम ने खुद उनकी करम के बारे में, अखलाक के और उनके अखलाक के बारे में हुज़ूर सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम ने तारीफ की, मदह की। He wasn't a Muslim, but the Prophet ﷺ, despite being a non-Muslim, praised him for his amazing and extreme generosity. Because Rasulullah, if even a non-Muslim had a good quality, he would appreciate it and praise it. The area of Shamar became increasingly under pressure from the Muslim presence. And Hatim al-Ta'i and his family, these were Christians. And they belonged to a sect, एक फिरका था ईसाइयों में जिनके अंदर कुछ यहूदियत का भी असर था उसके अंदर। So what happened was Hatim al-Ta'i himself, his son was called Adi bin Hatim. And Adi bin Hatim, when he saw the pressure of the Muslims coming, he fled into Syria. Adi bin Hatim. And his daughter was captured by the Muslims. His daughter was captured by the Muslims. And when the Prophet ﷺ saw her, she introduced herself as who she was, that I am the daughter of Hatim al-Ta'i the generous. So please have mercy on me and take it easy on me as a captive. So a bit of time went, and then when she was talking to the other Muslims about what would be done with her and that she wanted to join her family in Syria, somebody advised her, talk to the Prophet ﷺ and see what it says. कि आप हुजूर से बात करें कि अगर आप अपने घर वालों के साथ शाम में मिलना चाहते तो शाम आ गए थे। So she talked to the Prophet ﷺ, and the Prophet ﷺ excused her. He said, she's the daughter of Hatim al-Ta'i, give her good clothes, अच्छा पहनावा उसको दो और अच्छे तरीके से वो जाए। And then he said to her, but don't leave until you have somebody that you can trust to take you, because he cared about her safety. And then she was amazed at this. And then she said, go and find who was the person that advised me to speak to the Prophet ﷺ. Said the person that advised you to speak to the Prophet ﷺ was Sayyidina Ali ibn Abi Talib. He was the one who advised you. So she told Hazrat Ali to tell the Prophet she has found somebody that she trusts. So she left them for Syria. Her brother, who was Adi bin Hatim, at the time was an enemy of Islam. He had hatred in his heart for the Prophet ﷺ. And when she met him, she told him the good way that the Prophet ﷺ had dealt with him. And when she spoke about the Prophet ﷺ, Iman became kindled in his heart. Iman became kindled in his heart. And then what happened? He arrived then, she encourages him to go to Medina. He didn't want to go to Medina. He went to Medina to meet the Prophet ﷺ. And I'll just finish on this qissa, so there's a couple of the things I want to mention. And when he finds the Prophet ﷺ, the Prophet ﷺ takes his hand, holds his hand, knowing already that he's an enemy of his. And as soon as he starts to speak to Adi bin Hatim, an old lady comes to the Prophet ﷺ. An old lady. And as Adi bin Hatim reports, it was the habit of old ladies that they tend to speak a lot. And she started to complain about her issues and talk. And the Prophet ﷺ, despite a ruler being next to him, holding his hand, did not stop the lady from speaking until she had finished. In fact, he showed no sign of impatience or irritation. And he listened to all of her complaints while holding the hand of Adi bin Hatim. And when he saw this, he thought, this is not the way of the kings. This is not what I had understood, that the way rulers behave, and not the way that he behaved as a ruler. And then he saw this behavior of the Prophet ﷺ and was shocked. The Prophet ﷺ took him to his house, and he had one cushion made of leather, which was filled with the branches of palm trees. And he offered it to Adi bin Hatim, and he said, no, you take this, there is only one. And he forced Adi bin Hatim to take the cushion and left it himself. And he said, when I saw these two things, he didn't sit on a chair or on a throne, he sat on the floor and gave me the cushion. Then I brought or gave Iman on the Prophet ﷺ twice. And in one of the reports, he doesn't say, Ashhadu annaka Muhammad Rasulullah. He says, I bear witness that you are Allah's messenger because you are not like any of the kings and the rulers of this day. And then the Prophet ﷺ gave him 3 predictions. Inshallah, if we have time next time, we'll talk about them. All 2 of those predictions got completed because he lived till 113 years old. Adi bin Hatim. 2 of the predictions which we don't have the time to go into became fulfilled. The 3rd soon after he had passed away. And he became a great Sahabi of the Prophet ﷺ. His narrations are in the Hadith books. He accompanied Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq against Musaylimatul Kazzab. And then he was with Hazrat Ali in the battles of Siffin and became a great warrior and a great exponent of Islam. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the tawfiq to follow in the footsteps of these great illuminaries of our deen. Wa ma alayna illa al-balagh.